Can't believe I'm doing this story. Hi guys, it's Tiffany at the Organized Mommy of 3, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about something that I never thought I would have to discuss or go through, and this is something that is not really completely relative to my channel, but it's something that happened to me, and I wanted to try to keep my channel as real as possible, and explain or talk about my different life events. So I wanted to talk to you guys about my miscarriage story. So a few months ago we found out that we would be adding an addition to the family. So we were obviously ecstatic about it. I have my notes here, so if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at notes because it's a lot to talk about, and I really want to just try to tell you guys everything that happened. Before I talk about this, I want you guys to know that if I appear to be cold or if I appear to be just kind of nonchalant about it, I'm not. I just have grieved on my own throughout the past few weeks, and trying to keep as straight a face as possible. I'm talking to you guys about this. I just wanted to explain my story because I was hoping that it would help someone. Even if I just help one person going through it, then I know that this video was done for a purpose. So just wanted to get the word out there that, you know, miscarriages are more common than you think. I think it's like 1 in every 4 women suffer miscarriages for whatever reason, and it's not spoken about as much as you would think, and it's almost easier to sweep it under the rug for other people rather than to speak about it. And I know with my experience, I would rather talk about it than to act like it never happened, because it did happen, and you know, we lost a child that we were expecting to be bringing home. So it's a really deep experience. So I found out at 9 weeks, 5 days that the baby no longer had a heartbeat. I went to a routine sonogram for a regular checkup, and you know, she started the sonogram, and I saw in the, you know, the TV, whatever, the video of it, whatever, that, you know, it, like the fetus looked, or fetus or embryo, whatever it is, looked odd. It wasn't, it was like a small little, you know, small little mass of what was once a baby, kind of in the corner, and you know, my uterus appeared to still be growing, but the baby was so small. And I remember what a baby would look like at 9 weeks. I have 3 kids. I remember seeing a baby full of life in my stomach, and it didn't look that way. So she kept, you know, doing her scan, and then she just said, you know, sorry, there's no heartbeat. And I just didn't know how to feel about it. I felt like I had no reaction. It was kind of like a shock. 1 second, I gotta get the baby. Mason woke up from his nap, and he's gonna be in the video with me. Where was I? Okay, so the baby was measuring 8 weeks, and I was supposed to be 9 weeks, 5 days at that point. So this miscarriage was categorized as a missed miscarriage, where basically the baby stops growing, the heartbeat stops beating, but the heart stops beating, but your body doesn't get the message that the baby is no longer alive or viable, the pregnancy is no longer viable, so it fails to actually miscarry on its own right away. So you know, I was, at the time of the sonogram, I realized I was walking around with a baby that was no longer alive in me for over a week, and I didn't know. My husband and I, we were surprised when we found out we were pregnant, but we were obviously very happy. I always wanted another one to be, you know, close in age with Mason. So let me let you guys know about what went on. So when I found out I was pregnant, we were very happy and excited. At about 4 weeks or 4.5 weeks, I started feeling a little bit different. I noticed that I went to the bathroom one night and I had blood. There was blood. Sorry, this is going to be kind of like TMI. So if you don't like to hear about blood and all that stuff, then you should probably exit out now, because I'm going to just tell you what happened to me. Basically, I realized that I was bleeding, and I kept bleeding for another 4 days after the first day that I noticed. And I was just, you know, I got scared. I told my husband, and he's like, well, let's just look it up. And he's like, well, it's normal to bleed in the beginning and early pregnancy. It's a normal thing, and you know, you shouldn't worry. And I went on, and I tried my best not to worry, but in the back of my mind, I was very afraid of the worst happening. I also, with this pregnancy, I noticed that I didn't have any morning sickness, and I know, like, you know, with all my other pregnancies, I was really sick from like 4 to 5 weeks. Right away, basically, I would get sick. So I would tell myself, you know, maybe this is going to be the perfect pregnancy and I won't be sick for the whole time. And I hear about these women who are never sick during their pregnancies, and I thought that maybe this is my time, my last pregnancy. It's going to go out with a bang. It's going to be great. I won't be sick. And that's what I just convinced myself as far as why I was not having morning sickness. In reality, it probably was something else. It was obviously something else. Also, a different symptom that I had this time versus the other times was, you know, my breasts usually get sore. Sorry, TMI, but they get sore when I am pregnant, and it really wasn't. It wasn't very, like, it wasn't much different than what it normally is. And it actually started to become more sore around 7 weeks, and I started having more hope. Like, all right, well, maybe it's taking a while to kick in. Maybe the HGC levels in my body is taking a while to kick in, or maybe my body's used to it, so, you know, whatever. So at 7 weeks, when I started becoming, you know, more sore, I got happy. You know, I thought, okay, well, good, things are progressing, things are good. I had the normal tiredness that you would usually have when you're pregnant, but still, with all the symptoms I've had, it still didn't feel like I was okay. In the back of my mind, I knew something was up, and I tried to stay as positive about it as possible, because I didn't want any negative thoughts to affect my pregnancy. And I don't think that that's why this happened, honestly. I mean, at first I did, but then, you know, I realized that that's not why it happened. But, you know your body more than anyone else knows it. And, you know, I knew something was up, basically. When I was 6 weeks pregnant, I started to have a little bit more spotting. So I went to the ER, because I was like, no, something's wrong, you know. So went to the ER, they ran their tests, they did their sonogram. They didn't find a heartbeat at that time, but they said because I had just turned 6 weeks, maybe it was, you know, very premature to see the heartbeat, because the heartbeat could start beating at any time after 6 weeks. Basically, it could be 6 weeks 1 day, 6 weeks 2 days. So I was exactly 6 weeks. So that's what they said. Like, maybe that's why there's no heartbeat. But based on my HGC levels, it looked fine, and the pregnancy looked viable. So I went home, and I was, you know, really happy at that point, because I was like, you know, all right, good. I got you know, I got the flag of, you know, everything's good, so go home and rest and stop worrying and just, you know, continue to take care of yourself. So I did. I went home, I did what I had to do, took care of myself, went to sleep early. You know, I have a toddler, so obviously I'm not resting all the time, but, you know, I took care of myself. Took my prenatals, did all that, you know. So I went to my 9-week checkup, which was a regularly scheduled checkup, and the sonogram showed that there was no heartbeat at all. So after they determined if there was no heartbeat, I had to go for another sonogram to verify, which was kind of like, I was not looking forward to getting yet another sonogram to verify, because I didn't want to see again that the baby's heartbeat was not there, and I didn't want to look at my dead baby again in my stomach. And I just felt like it was just like beating a dead horse, kind of like, all right, you know, let's kind of do something to move on so I can get past this feeling of loss. So I opted for a D&C because I felt that having to deal with seeing the baby, the tissue, and everything passing, I don't think that I would have been able to deal with that. I didn't want to see it. So for me and for my mental health and just for everything, I just decided just to go along with the D&C. I just wanted to kind of be over and done with it. I know that that is not what most people, or not most people, but I know that's not something that some people would choose. And, you know, everyone has their own choice. It's your body, you know. But for me, I felt the D&C was the better choice. So I went along with that, and I, you know, after the D&C, there was like very minimal pain, really. Not very bad cramping. It was more of the emotional side that hurt more than anything else, than the physical pain. I had general anesthesia, so I think my body would react to that a few days later as far as muscle pains. Like my whole body was sore, and they said it was probably mostly because of the table that they put you on and the position they put you in on the table. So basically, you know, I had really sore muscles. But as far as like cramping was concerned, for the D&C, the cramping was very minimal. The emotional side was harder than the physical side for me, basically. As far as pain medication was concerned, I only took Motrin, and it really helped with the pain. I didn't really need anything stronger than that. But I think that's just me. Like, I don't, even when I have my period, I don't take pain medication. I just kind of just deal with the pain, and then. So let's talk about the emotional side of all of this. Basically, you know, obviously, I and my family was extremely devastated about the news. I guess I jumped the gun as far as telling my kids that we were expecting, and that hurt a lot when I told them that the baby had passed away, and you know, and I had to explain that, you know, these things happen and there's no reason why, and you know, that part hurt more, telling them. I don't know why. I felt guilty. I felt like I gave them something and I took it back so quickly, and you know, they're little and they don't understand why these things happen, and it's kind of like, you know, I wish I never told them and they wouldn't have to deal with this, you know. So I definitely felt guilty about telling my kids. I felt guilty for some reason about telling anyone. I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to face it. I felt also as if for some reason it had to have been something I did why I lost this baby. It must have been that I overexerted myself. It must have been that I shouldn't have picked up that load of laundry. I shouldn't have, you know, done so much. I should have just relaxed more. I should have. And there's this whole list in my head of things I could have done. And the truth is that it's not something that you can prevent. Early pregnancy loss is something that happens. It's as common as, it is more common than you think. The doctor told me that it was basically a genetic abnormality or a chromosomal abnormality, something that you can't control, you know. So just basically when the egg and the sperm were fertilizing, something went wrong and the pregnancy could not continue. It couldn't continue on to be a viable pregnancy, is what they say. So, you know, I had to keep telling myself that because automatically I felt guilty, like it was my fault. Right now I feel I'm getting better. It's been 2 weeks since I found out. But I did feel like I was at a standstill. I felt like I was in limbo. You know, you go from being pregnant, and then all of a sudden you're told that you're not pregnant. And you're just like, what? You know, like it's kind of like a shock. And then, you know, you feel 10,000 emotions all in one. You feel angry, or at least I felt angry. I felt sad. I felt confused. I felt numb. I realized that I was getting depressed. I just everything that you can imagine feeling, I felt. And it is completely normal to feel this way. It is completely normal to have all of these emotions, even in one day, because this loss is just that. It's a loss. And you're expecting to carry the pregnancy for a full 9 months, and you're expecting to come home with a baby and, you know, share this life with this child of like, what would, you know, you think to yourself, like, I wonder what this child would have been like. I wonder what, you know, all these what ifs and stuff. And it's just, you know, you can't beat yourself up about that. You have to know that it's not something that you did, and that it's not something that you could have prevented. I've been trying to channel my feelings into other places. So, you know, like, I am somebody who writes. I write all the time, and it's my therapy. So I started writing about my experience. The same way I'm telling you guys on here on YouTube about it, I'm also blogging about it, because I feel like, you know, first of all, it's helping me cope with it. Second of all, I feel like if someone else is going through this, it helps them to see that they're not the only one going through this. They're not alone. Not that it makes it any better, but it helps to know that you're not alone. So that's part of the reason why I did this video, is because I just wanted to let other women know that, you know, this is something that is common and it happens, and we should talk about it. And we shouldn't feel like we can't talk about it, you know? So that's why I did it. I want anyone going through this to know that you're not alone. If you're feeling sad, it's normal. If you're feeling angry, it's normal. If you're feeling numb, it's normal. Like, whatever you're feeling, go with those feelings. Like, it's okay, because it's part of the grieving process. You just suffered a loss, and you have to grieve. So that's what I'm doing too. I'm still grieving, and I'm taking it day by day, and I'm feeling better each day. I wanted to just get home and hug my kids. That's what I wanted to do, and spend as much time with them and tell them how much I love them and appreciate them, and how thankful I am for them, and how thankful I am for my husband. And that's how I feel, and that's what it taught me. You know, with every experience in life, you have to take the good with the bad, and the good that came out of it is basically just the fact that I know that I can go home and hug my kids and my family. Sorry for the really long video. I tried to just get in as much information for you guys as possible in here. I'm hoping that if anyone is going through this, that this video is going to help them. I know when I was going through it, I just was on YouTube watching videos of other women who went through it, and it wasn't something like for me to feel like, oh, you know, I feel low, so let me watch everybody else feel low. It was more of a, I'm going through this, and other people have gone through this too, and I don't feel alone. Don't let this experience shadow any other pregnancy that you have. Be positive still. If you are not subscribed to my channel, hit subscribe. I'm not going to be talking a lot about this. The channels are going to be based on mommyhood and lifestyle and DIY and interior design stuff that I love and things like that. So like I said, if you haven't hit subscribe, you're going to love the channel. And if you like this video, if this video helped you in any way, just, you know, hit like. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye. Say bye. Say bye. Bye.